What's up, YouTube world? You already know what it is. Steve Billionaird, Billionaire Sports Rap. Yes, sir. Super Bowl finale edition. And we already know who are the champions. And that's my Philadelphia Eagles. If you watch my last Billionaire Sports Rap, I gave the analysis of who I thought was going to win the Super Bowl. And you already knew, and I already know what was going to be the result. And yeah, Jalen Hurts, the new Nike, love Hurts. It hurt those Kansas City Chiefs, and he broke those Kansas City Chief fans' hearts. I love it. So yeah, man, it was a great game. Man, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you all. Let's get right to it. I did not expect us to have a dominant performance like that. I mean, I expected it was gonna be a good game, and I thought it was gonna be sort of tight, but I knew, and that's what I said in my last Billionaire Sports Rap video. If we do what we're supposed to do, dominate on defense, converge on Mahomes, put the pressure on him, force him to make mistakes and keep him in the pocket, we have a very strong chance of winning. I was right. I didn't expect that we was gonna blow them out though. Now that was unexpected. I'm gonna be honest, but the way the game plan that we devised between Sirianni, Fazio, Kellen Moore on offense, special teams, the secondary, the linebacker coach, the defensive line coach, all the coaches, shout out to you all. And that's what I've been saying when it comes in regards to the Eagles, was that our coaches have been changing and nothing has been consistent within the last couple of years. So really, ever since Jalen has become the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I knew if we get the right coaches and the right system, we were going to go to Super Bowl. And adding Saquon Barkley, which has been, man, it's been so special. He was a godsend. I'm going to say to us, thank you, New York Giants, because y'all gave up on a special talent and player. And Saquon has always been that player. He just didn't have the offensive line, or he just didn't have the support of the organization or the team to give him what he needed. He came to us at the right time. Our offensive line is our offensive line. They're one of the top offensive lines in the league. Our offensive line, I believe average weight-wise, 340. Man, like huge offensive line. So with an offensive line like that and a special talent like Quan, it's a no-brainer that he did his thing this year. And he gained over 2,000 yards, and he actually in the Super Bowl broke the record for all-time yards for, not only the season, but the playoffs combined. So let me just run over the stats right quick because, yeah, they thought my man Jalen couldn't throw, and he obviously, my God, all his passes was precision and perfect. But let's run down the stats. Jalen's stats was 17 for 22 for 221 yards, 2 TDs, only 1 interception. And then he rushed for 11 times for 72 yards. Receiving, my man Smitty, man, clutch catch. We'll get into that. 4 receptions, 69 yards, 1 TD. A.J. Brown, always open. That's his name. 3 catches for 43 yards, 1 TD. Dotson had 2 catches for 42 yards. Saquon has 6 catches for 40 yards. And Dallas Goedert had 2 catches for 27 yards. So that shows you right there. And that's pretty much been like our whole season. Jalen has been able to manage, and not game manage, just manage the playbook, spread the ball, not to be able to give opposing defenses a one person to lock on. So even though it was a little turmoil with AJ, obviously receivers, not only him, but throughout the league, you know, they won a lot of catches and they won a lot of yards, and that helps them get the big bag. And that's, of course, expected. But we have to remember that football is a team sport. It is not golf. So the way we orchestrated this season and the way, and now looking back at it, and now that's what we can do because it's over now and we the champs. We the champs. We can look at it, looking back at the season, that Sirianni orchestrated beautifully. The coaches, the system, the culture of the Eagles. And by us being able to, and by Jalen being able to spread the ball, and obviously the leader of that being Saquon Barkley, rushing the way he rushes the ball, our offensive line just mulling over opposing defenses and establishing the run game, which will wear opposing defenses down. Then once they key on that, because they're going to key on something, because if it's not being stopped, you have to shut it down. And even Kansas City, and I will give Kansas City credit in the game, they were able to limit and pretty much, I think, Saquon had like 56 yards, I believe. And it was good yards, don't get me wrong. But he didn't have his typical over 100-yard game. He didn't have a typical, that one bust of a run that he gets usually over 60 yards and take it to the house. But it was enough because Spags, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, basically said, we're not going to let Saquon beat us. Jalen, if you all going to win this game, you have to beat us with your arm. And of course, with his legs, he did it too. So that's what Jalen did. Then on the flip side, the defense, they just set the tone. It was a great defensive plan for us. We had our ends go wide to the outside and then bull rush the offensive tackles, pushed them in all the way into Mahomes. So therefore, he didn't have nowhere to go. And then we had Milton Williams. Oh my God. Out of nowhere. I mean, he's been playing solid all season, but this particular game, he stepped up and showed out and got 2 sacks. And then Josh, Sweat, huge game. He got 2 sacks. And even though Jalen Carter didn't get any sacks, and Jordan Davis got 1 sack as well, his presence, his drawing double teams, sometimes even triple teams, but we only rushed 4 linemen. That was it. So we was able to, our linebackers, our secondary, yes, we had plenty of people to stop the short passes, the immediate passes, and we shut one of their biggest players, Jason Kelsey, down. Travis Kelsey. We shut him down. So it was a great defensive plan by Vic Fazio. Shout out to Vic. Man, we couldn't have designed it more beautifully how we orchestrated. And the Chiefs, for whatever reason, didn't rush the ball or make a strong attempt to run it, because they could have done that and maybe they would have been able to, force us to change our defense. But they stayed with what they had, and I guess that's what we saw in their tapes. And yeah, they just played into our defense, and our defense just shut them down. I mean, I'm still, even though I'm sorry, I should have probably done this video earlier this week, but just celebrating, just soaking it in. It's been so long. The season we had last year was, again, and I said that in my last video, was a collapse. Like, you have to understand, we went 10-1, and then, we just fell off the cliff, basically. So to have, in the offseason, shout out to Howie Roseman, the picks that he made, the acquisitions that he made, the coaches that they got together and picked with Kellen Moore on the offensive side and Vic Fazio. And I'm glad Vic is staying. And of course, I talked about that too. That and shout to I'm gonna give it to him, Kellen Moore. Congrats on becoming the New Orleans Saints' new coach. Best of luck. But now we have to look for another offensive coordinator. Now Jalen has to get used to hopefully the playbook won't be that crazy, but obviously whoever's coming in, we're gonna it's gonna be changed up a little bit. And hopefully they bring in someone that's very creative, very innovative, that can make opposing defenses not figure us out. Because that's the whole point in any team, with any football, both defensively and offensively, is keep not being predictable. That's what we were the season before. Our coaches that we had, they just for whatever reason, we just was predictable, and that's why we had the collapse we had. This year, we had experienced coaches that knew exactly what to do and how to use our personnel in order to get them to play their position at an ultimate level and get them to execute. And it couldn't have come at a better time. I mean, we played great throughout the whole season. Our season, we ended up 18-3. We won our last, 10, 11, 12 games, I believe it was. So, yes, all of Philadelphia, the parade was great. Man, Jalen Hurts is finally a Super Bowl champion. All this conversation about he's not a top tier or elite quarterback, all these critics and haters need to just silence themselves. He obviously showed the mentality, the control, the coolness, and also the endurance of being a quarterback and blocking out the noise of all the haters and critics and just staying, and as he said, keeping the main thing the main thing. And another quote I love is, "You all have opinions. I have a purpose." And he's had a purpose ever since Alabama. He had a purpose ever since Oklahoma. He had a purpose ever since he got drafted by the Eagles. And then, as we all know now, he had a purpose when we lost to the Chiefs the first time by having a screensaver of all of the Chiefs confetti colors falling down on him once the clock, struck 0-0 and we lost that last Super Bowl. So, and they interviewed him and asked him, okay, now that you won the Super Bowl, are you going to take the screensaver and change it? He's like, no, I'm going to keep it. That's a champion mentality. That's a guy that just he's not satisfied. He wants to win more. He wants more championships. That's the championship DNA of someone. I love that. So I just want him to enjoy, and I'm sure he is in this off season. Enjoy all the work that you put in, the countless hours, the hard work. And this is a lesson to all. You can look at his story and his life and his journey as a football player, and you can take that he never gave up. He stood strong. He blocked out the noise of the haters and critics, and he stuck to his purpose. And his purpose is winning championships. And he said another quote, it's not about the money for me, it's about championships. And he got his first one. Thank you, Jalen Hurts. Thank you so much. Philadelphia thanks you. I thank you. Obviously, the parade was yesterday. It was beautiful. I mean, so many people showed up, and I'm just so happy. It was no incidents. It was no craziness because, in the past, it's been a little wildness in Philadelphia. So shout out to the city of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Eagle fans for showing up and showing out to the world, the best fan base in not only football, to me, in sports. And it's grown. So Bird Gang, go Birds, fly, Eagles, fly to victory. But yeah, that's it. Any comments y'all want to speak, any of the game, any Chief fans? I don't know if y'all going to show up. but if y'all do, that would be great. But you know, any comments about this episode and what you all thought about the game? Right quick, Kendrick Lamar, great halftime show. At first, I was like, it was okay because compared to other halftime shows in the past with big pop stars or stars that have big songs, and not that he doesn't have big songs. I wish he would have went back into his catalog and went and did, took some from the album of Mad City. That would have been dope. But he did what he did, and his message was know how to play the game and know how to play the system, which I've talked about in some of my videos as well. And that's a whole nother story. But it was strategically planned how he did his Super Bowl. And you just have to watch it again and again, and having Samuel Jackson play Uncle Sam. That was crazy. That was funny. And, kind of twisted in a certain way. But shout out to Kendrick, man. You did your thing. And yeah, the numbers spoke for itself. It was the most watched Super Bowl in history. So he obviously did his thing. And of course, us playing the Chiefs, that brought, Taylor Swift. Anyway, the Swiftie, all the people that may not be football fans probably watch the Super Bowl, and usually does when, because it's the biggest game of the, not only the United States, but of the world. So, yeah, it was a great game. Of course, for the Chiefs fans, obviously it wasn't. They probably was in shock how it happened. I was in a little surprise and shock because of the way we dominated the game. But it just ended our season so perfect. We got a second ring. Thank you so much. And yeah, now it's trying to, it's about getting ready for the next season, and hopefully we can repeat. That'll be great. But of course, it's about signing players in the off season. It's about when the season starts and go through the season, key players not getting injured. It's a lot of different variables that go into making that trip and that journey again to the Super Bowl. But I think we have the team, we have players signed, the key players for the next couple of years. And who knows what Howie's going to do, because he always comes up with something to even make our team better. And he's one of the best GMs in the NFL, hands down. That's pretty obvious from what he got. We got one of the best running backs in the league, along with King Henry in Baltimore, and that's Saquon Barkley. But like I said, y'all, this is Billionaire Sports Rap. This is Steve Billionaird. Probably in the next one, because now that the season is over, I'll be talking about basketball. The All-Star Weekend is going on. So shout out to the All-Star Weekend. They made a couple of changes. I'm going to check it out tonight. I'll probably do my next video giving an analysis slightly about the All-Star game, if it became more interesting or is it still the same. To me, I just think the players have to want to be competitive in the All-Star game, want to play hard, and want to, have that spirit of winning the game, not just being there and doing tricks and not caring. You know what I mean? So hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna check it out. I think dunk contest tonight. We'll see about that too. Dunk contest hasn't been as good, since back in the days with Vince Carter and Michael Jordan, and all those guys, Dominique, all those guys. So, yeah, the NBA has some work to do when it comes to the All-Star game. So we'll see what happens. But again, any comments about the Super Bowl, please leave any comments. Thank you so much if you don't watch this whole video. I really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button if you're still hanging with me and watching this video. It's very important. And obviously, if you watch this video, this helped my watch hours get up. And yeah, we can just continue putting out good content and great content, and it's going to get better and better. The aesthetics is obviously going to get better and better if I can get the right resources. So that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm working hard to try to give you my analysis, my opinions. You may agree, you may disagree, but that's what it's all about. It's the sports banter. It's about, the game, the NFL game, football. All right, y'all. Thank you so much once again for tuning in to Billionaire Sports Rap. This is Steve Billionaird, and Have a great rest of your day. We out. And the war has been won by Philadelphia. Peace.